Most people think becoming unstoppable means waking up at 4 a.m. and grinding nonstop and turning yourself into some emotionless machine. But the truth is far less glamorous and way more powerful than what you think. Unstoppable people are not born with unlimited motivation. They simply stop negotiating with a version of themselves that wants that comfort over progress. And every major transformation starts the moment you realize your future is being built by your daily habits, not your occasional burst of inspiration. And if you keep waiting until you feel ready, confident, or even motivated, you will stay exactly where you are while somebody less talented, like me, passes you through consistency alone. And becoming unstoppable is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming dangerous to your excuses. And the first thing you need to understand is that your environment controls more of your behavior than your willpower does. And if your phone is always next to you, your focus disappears. If lazy people surround you, your standards drop. And if your room is chaotic, your mind usually follows. Unstoppable people design environments that make discipline easier. They remove the distractions before distractions become problems. They create systems that force momentum even on bad days. And most people rely on feelings to determine the action, but unstoppable people, they rely on the structure. They decide in advance what gets done no matter how they feel. And this is why routine matters so much. A routine eliminates the debate, and when your brain knows exactly what's happening next, resistance weakens. And the second thing you need is the ability to tolerate discomfort longer than the average people. Success is delayed pain tolerance. Most people quit because improvement feels boring before it feels rewarding. Going to the gym is uncomfortable before it becomes empowering. And building a business is stressful before it becomes freedom. And learning a skill is frustrating before it becomes valuable. There's always a season where your efforts appear invisible. And this is where most people collapse. They assume no visible results mean no progress. But reality works differently. Repetition builds identity long before it builds results, and every disciplined action casts a vote for the person you are becoming. If you consistently keep promises to yourself, your confidence naturally grows because confidence is not built through positive thinking. It is built through evidence. Another reason people never become unstoppable is because they constantly split their attention. They start 10 goals and finish none. The deep focus has become rare, which makes it extremely valuable. The ability to sit with one difficult task for long periods without needing stimulation is becoming a superpower. Your brain adapts to whatever you repeatedly expose it to. If you constantly scroll short videos and switch tasks every few seconds, your attention span weakens. But if you train yourself to focus deeply every day, your mental endurance expands. Protecting your focus is one of the highest returns on investment possible because focused effort compounds faster than scattered effort. And you also need to stop romanticizing motivation. Motivation is unreliable because emotions constantly change. And some days you will feel powerful. In other days, you'll feel exhausted, distracted, and insecure. And, unstoppable people do not expect perfect mental states before taking action. They move first and let action create the momentum. And momentum creates motivation far more often than motivation creates momentum. And this is why starting is usually the hardest part. Once momentum begins, resistance often fades. And the problem is most people stay trapped in an overthinking. They analyze, they prepare, they research, and they plan endlessly because planning feels safer than risking the failure. But action is the only thing that creates transformation. You cannot think your way into becoming stronger. You must behave your way there. Another critical trait of unstoppable people is emotional control. If your emotions constantly dictate your decisions, your life becomes unstable. One bad mood can destroy your productivity, one criticism can ruin your confidence, and one failure can make you quit. Emotional control does not mean suppressing emotions, it means refusing to let temporary feelings control your permanent decisions. You need the ability to stay calm under pressure, especially when things go wrong. Every high performer experiences the setbacks, the rejections, the embarrassment, and the failure. The difference is they recover faster. And resilience is speed of recovery. The faster you regain the focus after disappointment, the more unstoppable you become. And most people waste enormous amounts of energy trying to avoid failure. But failure is unavoidable if you are pushing your limits. Instead of fearing mistakes, learn to extract information from them. Every failure contains feedback. Every setback exposes a weakness that can be improved. And the people who win long term are usually the people who can stay in the game the longest without emotionally collapsing. You also need to master self respect because your standards shape your destiny. Every time you tolerate laziness, dishonesty, weakness, or excuse from yourself, you lower your identity. But every time you follow through despite the resistance, you strengthen your self image. Your brain is always watching your actions and adjusting your identity accordingly. If you constantly break promises to yourself, your mind stops trusting you. But when you consistently do hard things, you start viewing yourself differently. And this internal shift changes everything because behavior becomes easier when it matches your identity. And unstoppable people are not constantly asking themselves whether they feel like working. Their identity already expects discipline. Another overlooked factor is energy management because you cannot become unstoppable by constantly destroying your body. Sleep deprivation, terrible nutrition, the lack of motivation or movement, and nonstop stress slowly reduce your mental performance. Your brain and your body are connected. If your physical energy crashes, your discipline usually crashes with it. High performers understand that recovery is productive. Exercise sharpens the focus, and sleep improves the decision making. Good nutrition stabilizes energy. Taking care of your body is not weakness, it is a strategy. And finally, you need a mission larger than comfort. People who only chase convenience usually become weak because comfort removes the pressure that creates the growth. A meaningful mission gives suffering a purpose, and when your reason is strong enough, you can endure discomfort longer. The most unstoppable people are driven by vision, not mood, and they know exactly what they are building and why it matters. That clarity fuels the persistence that when motivation disappears, and at the end of the day, becoming unstoppable is not about becoming superhuman. It's about becoming consistent in a world addicted to distractions, excuses, and instant gratification. Small disciplined actions repeated daily eventually create a person. It creates a person that what average habits can no longer compete with. You do not need to transform your entire life overnight. You just need to stop quitting on yourself every time things become difficult. The moment you build the habit of acting despite discomfort, despite doubt, despite the fear, and despite low motivation, you separate yourself from most people. And this is when momentum becomes identity. Discipline becomes automatic and progress becomes inevitable. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found value in today's video, please subscribe. That's all I ask. We're looking to build this channel. Without that subscription base, we just can't. So if you would, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.